Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. Boko Haram insurgents have overrun Maiha town, the headquarters of Maiha local government area of Adamawa state. CoreTV News gathered that the insurgents were spotted hovering around the area about 5 p.m. on Monday. Nobody anticipated any attack as the insurgents had been coming to Maya to preach and persuade the people to support their struggles. The insurgents reportedly used the Portiscom attack that led to the death of about 47 school children to divert attention from the authorities. While attention was on Yobe State, the insurgents struck Mahia, killing several people who refused to flee after Mubi was attacked. However, Mahia had before now been rendered a ghost of itself as commercial and social activities were paralyzed as a result of exodus of people from the town occasioned by attacks on Mubi, which is 20 kilometers away. Fleeing residents say the killings and destruction orchestrated by the insurgents in Mahia violated their promise of protection to the people. President Goodluck Jonathan says the fight against Boko Haram can only be achieved if all Nigerians unite against their common enemy. Speaking at the declaration of his 2015 presidential ambition in Abuja on Tuesday, Jonathan says his administration will ensure that those behind the recent bombing of school children in Yobe State are brought to book. Worried by the lingering security challenges in the country, the president maintained that cooperation of the citizens in the fight against Boko Haram would end the reign of terror and insurgency in the country.
Without challenges, we have to deal with the wave of insurgency that swept through some parts of Nigerian country. Only yesterday, government science secondary school in Yobe State was bombed by insurgents. Clearly, it has cast a dark cloud on our nation, but we will surely win the war against terror.
Okay.
The number of young men and women have been kidnapped by these criminal elements, including our daughters from Chibok. We will surely get our daughters free. We must defeat terror. We are equipping the armed forces and deploying special forces this time to engage the terrorists in a senseless war. We must protect our country. We must save our people. And we do everything humanly possible to end this criminal violence in our nation. To ensure the long-term stability and development of the affected areas. The government has launched 3 programs. The Presidential Initiative for the Northeast, the Victim Support Fund, and the Safe School Initiative. The Presidential Initiative for the Northeast focuses on improving infrastructure and economic growth in the region. The Safe School Initiative is centered on creating a safe environment to encourage our children in the communities to acquire education.
The Christian community in Adamawa State have called for the suspension of all political activities in the country to enable the federal government concentrate on the fight against the Boko Haram sect. The Christian leaders say activities of Boko Haram suggest a deliberate attempt to annihilate Christians, particularly in Adamawa and other states in the northeast.
Reports reaching us from the Christian escapees from the troubled areas reveal that Christian parents and brothers are slaughtered in the presence of their wives and wives. because they profess the Christian faith, while all the existing churches in the captured territories have been completely destroyed by the Islamic insurgents. We reject in strong terms insinuations from certain quarters that the insurgents are a mere bunch of trigger-happy miscreants whose intentions are to settle certain scores with the government, owing to the Tory revelations of attacks mostly targeted against Christians. We are therefore tempted by these circumstances to believe that the whole onslaught is a deliberate attempt to exterminate Christians in the captured region. We strongly recommend the total suspension of all political activities in Nigeria to allow the federal government face squarely and sincerely the devastating reality of Boko Haram activities in the northeast, particularly in Adama, Borno, and Yobe states, which is threatening the corporate existence of the Nigerian state.
Meanwhile, the military authorities have brushed off claims that helicopters ferried the family of the Chief of Defense Staff to safety just before Mubi fell to the Boko Haram insurgents. The Defense Headquarters said in a statement on its website that claims made by an online media is false. It maintains that the helicopter sighted in Mubi was on a mission to reinforce ground troops in preparation of efforts to repel the attack. Defense Headquarters insists that the helicopter did not convey any civilian or relation of the CDS, Alex Badi. It also advised the mass media to beware of lifting stories on the military from online media, which it described as the main channel of disseminating falsehood on happenings in the system. Nigerian youth are calling for a place in the nation's policy making and governance. The youth who are agitating for a new Nigeria also want their voices heard on the current national discourse, especially ahead of the 2015 general elections. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, who was at the summit, filed in this report.
The state of the nation and the political tension rising ahead the 2015 general elections, according to the APC youth leadership, was one of the major factors behind the convocation of the 2014 summit, tagged the New Nigeria by New Nigerians. APC youth leader in Lagos State, Omotayo Sonyaolu, says Nigeria's youth's voices must be heard in the governance of the country.
First of all, we are trying to make everybody understand that they have the right, they have the power to actually unseat any failed leadership, basically. But we know that with this zeal and commitment we have seen so far, we know that we're actually going to make the change. And the change is going to come from the youth.
Nollywood actor and House of Assembly aspirant under the platform of the APC, Desmond Elliott, encourages youth to be role model for younger minds.
The new idea of having it, youth right now coming on, because they are tired of saying they want to be there tomorrow. We are tired. I probably almost say they are tired now because we are gradually going away from the youthful stage. But then we should be role models to those who are very sharp, energetic, wise, intelligent, and that's the being of a Nigerian person. That's what makes us unique.
The Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, says the coming to being of a new Nigeria is the task of all.
Perhaps things would have been different if it was not so easy for us as the people to run away from our problem. Perhaps, just maybe, those who survived abroad have been some of our very best. Think about what we have lost in terms of our most valuable resource. Think of the human capital that we have lost to other countries. Think what we could have built if we did not escape to another land. Where would we have escaped to if those people whose country we went to escaped from their own problems?
The organizers urged all youths, irrespective of party affiliations or religious belief, to mobilize and participate fully in the forthcoming elections and help secure the emergence of a new Nigeria. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Protesters took their grievances concerning the shorter distribution of permanent voter cards in Lagos to the electoral body's headquarters in the state on Monday. The promise by the resident electoral commissioner Adekunle Ogumola that Lagosians should take him by his words that all eligible voters will get their permanent voter cards before the 2015 general elections did little or nothing to stop the protest. Omotayalo brought back this report.
This is a testimony of the rage that has trailed the permanent voter cards distribution exercise in Lagos from its commencement. None of the original 3 days slated for the exercise has gone without hitches. These protesters were clearly not pleased with the conduct of the exercise. For this human rights activist, Declan Ikere, the country has gone past the era of unfolding and watching events as they unfold.
In as much as we are trying to sensitize Nigerians that election is coming, we are of the view that the extension or the continuous distribution of the PVC should go back to those places that the people actually did the registration. That will go a long way to showcase that INEC is not short-staffed.
The resident electoral commissioner explains the challenges faced by the electoral body and promised a way out when he was confronted by the leaders of the protests.
What we are planning to do in the 11 local governments, after the distribution of the permanent voters card, come Wednesday, we'll start with the continuous voter registration. Meaning that if for any reason you registered in 2011 and your name is not on our electronic voters register, you have another opportunity of re-registering. Okay. If you are 18, you were 18 in 2011, but you did not have the opportunity of registering in 2011, you have the opportunity of registering. If you are not 18 in 2011 and you have matured into the voting age, you have the opportunity of registering. So what it means is that we are going to have a robust registration, right? So that at the end of the day, all eligible voters will be captured on our database.
The explanation did not, however, stop the protesters from arguing their challenges with the resident electoral commissioner.
We have been on the field as a civil society organization monitoring the progress and otherwise of your exercise. And so far so good, we are not satisfied. It's a total dismal.
In my ward, collection of PVC has not taken off as of now.
Honestly, INEC regrets what is happening. It was our intention to showcase ourselves. I think you get it. But I don't want to give excuses. We have regretted it, right? And we are trying to make amends.
The outcome of the decision reached with the electoral commissioner was, however, taken with a pinch of salt by all the protesters, who all the same dispersed with a vow to come back again if their grievances are not treated urgently.
Major information is that registrations and collection of PPC will not stop today or tomorrow. It's ongoing exercise. That when they move away from the polling unit, they will move to the local government. So you go to your ward headquarters, INEC headquarters to collect your PPC. It's ongoing. They are not going to stop it until February next year. So no Lagosian will be disenfranchised.
Omotayalo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Despite hitches trailing the ongoing distribution of permanent voter cards by the Independent National Electoral Commission in 9 states across the Federation, some civil groups have staged a sensitization forum in Ogun State to enlighten the electorate on the importance of the exercise. Olajumoke Olatunji was in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, and brought back this report.
Ahead the 2015 general polls, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said one of its major objectives is to have hitch-free and credible elections. To achieve this, INEC came up with the idea of the permanent voter cards in 2013 and the continuous voter registration. The distribution of the PVC, which is ongoing, has been characterized by irregularities, which has also discouraged many Nigerians. Against this backdrop, the Women Arise staged a rally in collaboration with the Ogun State Coalition for Civil Rights to sensitize residents of the state on the need to take part in the continuous voter registration, which commences on Wednesday.
There is time for people who are here to collect their permanent voters card to do so. We are going, this is a litmus test, and we are going to x-ray all that has been happening. And those who are to be blamed, the people of this country, we know them and blame them. But I want everyone, Nigerians, citizens of Ogun State, wherever anyone resides, for them not to be disillusioned. I'm an incurable optimist. I'm so optimistic that this project will not fail. It will not fail when all of us come out to exercise our civic responsibility.
The Ogun State INEC HOD of Operations, Sam Ogunjemilio, and Chairman of the Coalition for Civil Rights, Yinka Folarin, both enjoined Nigerians not to be discouraged by the shortcomings experienced during the distributions of the PVCs.
It's a collective work for us as a Nigerian that we must, in ensuring that we endure the democracy. And because of the fact that INEC does not even want to disenfranchise anybody, that is why the second chance of continuous voter registration is being given. If you don't find your name, or you have not collected your permanent voter's card, and you register, but you didn't find your name on the list, you have the second chance.
Nigeria is for the Nigerians, and to have the best, to have the deserved Nigeria, we must all participate, irrespective of the challenges we are facing.
The police in the state also used the occasion to advise the electorate to shun electoral violence and malpractices ahead of the 2015 general elections.
The police will not allow any electoral malpractices. The police will not allow any electoral violence. I said it at the program we had this morning. I said as a figure to INEC was an instrument to me. The total number of polling booths or polling units we have in Ogun State is 3,210. So I now relate it to electoral violence in Ogun State that over time the thing has been coming down over time in the state. 3210 is telling you we are going to have zero tolerance for electoral violence. We are going to have zero tolerance for political talking.
The sensitization was well received by the electorate and political observers who commended the organizers for its timeliness. Olajumoke Latuji, CoreTV News.
Registration 12 to 17 November 2014. Register now.
Tafawa Balewa's son insists he's still in the presidential raid. Find out more after this timeout. Don't go away.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Give me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as the ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there. And for more news and other information, you can visit our social media platform. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. PDP presidential aspirant Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa says he's still in the race for the party's ticket, having collected the necessary nomination forms before the deadline. Tafawa Balewa stated this in a chat with CoreTV News in Abuja, during which he maintained that he was under no pressure from the party to step down for President Goodluck Jonathan. He also dismissed claims by Edwin Clark about his readiness to withdraw from the race for the right to fly PDP's flag at the 2015 presidential election.
I'm still contesting. What had happened that day was that I was called to Dr. Ike Clark's house he has been a father to me in particular, but to the nation at large. He is a wonderful patriotic nationalist. So there is absolutely no reason why he will call me and I wouldn't go there. He's one of the very few people that can tell me to jump and I will ask how high. So when Daddy started talking about what the governors are doing that nears avarice, wanting to go to the Senate after 8 years of being governor when they already have pensions and have a lot of perks. What about if the senators that are there are already serving the people well? Later on, he mentioned the fact that I was his son and the president was his son also, and said he was going to mediate between us to make sure that you know, whatever rancor is leveled, and that was all. Then some press people, I don't know whether it's electronic or written press, said, what did I think of what he said? I said, everything Daddy said was true. That was it. Those were the only 5 words I said there.
The People's Democratic Party says it has done well in the last 15 years. It also challenged the opposition to a free, fair and peaceful contest. PDP spokesman Olisa Metu said in a statement that President Goodluck Jonathan's declaration for the 2015 presidential election is a boost to the collective aspiration of millions of party members. It added that the unanimous endorsement of the president for a second term by the party is a decision anchored on the need to protect national interests against the backdrop of sectoral stance of the opposition. The federal government on Monday said it has saved 528 million naira on reviews conducted on some projects since 2009 till date. It says the reviews were conducted to ensure that the awards conform to the Public Procurement Act. The Director General, Bureau of Public Procurement, Emeka Eze, disclosed this while speaking at the first National Conference of Public Procurement held inside the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Eze says the Bureau had also recommended over 180 companies for investigation, with a list of the affected firms submitted to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. It said their offences varied from tax fraud to underestimated of turnover. Eze reaffirmed the government's commitment to further strengthen the BPP to continue on its assignment with best practices. We'll take another break now and we'll be back with a story outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. 2 Israelis have been killed in separate knife attacks in Tel Aviv and the occupied West Bank. The first attack in Tel Aviv targeted a soldier. A Palestinian from the West Bank city of Nablus was arrested. An Israeli woman was later stabbed to death near the Alon Shvuv Jewish settlement in the West Bank. The assailant was shot by a security guard. The stabbings come at a time of heightened tension between Israel and the Palestinians. At the weekend, Israeli Arabs threw stones at police in main Arab towns in Israel after police shot dead a young Arab man who had attacked them with a knife. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to crack down on the violence. And that's all we have for you on CoreTV News at 7. Join me again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Emi Lomo.